Hello everyone. So today I was looking at this question on the community. Now the question is about selective app access for certain users. Now the question is about one app that this person is using, and this app is about some report. Basically, this person is saying here that I have an app which is giving us good management breakdown of tasks and progress, and it is costing that user or that organization a lot of money. But in reality, only 5 people need to look at that report. Now, unfortunately, the way Jira pricing works, you pay for the number of users, and there is like a tier, and if your number of users, active users, are within that particular range, you have to pay the price accordingly. Now, usually in this case, and I encounter this every day because as a consultant, I also need to help my clients in not only achieving what they're looking for, but at the same time within their budget. It is actually very important. Of course, when you have all the apps or when you can afford anything that you can, of course, do a lot, which is fine, but at the same time, not always, but if you don't really have a lot of money or if you have some budget constraints, then you need consultation around it, especially in those cases. And even in general, I don't recommend installing an app just for the sake of it or just because it looks fancy or it has a nice name. First, think about the usage. And in this case, where this user is saying that in reality, I need only 5 users to use the app, but if they can't really figure out, then they have to let it go. So this is, of course, a typical example where you need to make a decision in the very beginning of your deployment or in your rollout of Jira, what apps you need to have, and of course, try to solve 80% of the problems, not really all the problems, or at least 80% of the important problems. So you have to, of course, prioritize. So in this case, if I have to give you some idea, so basically, if you're trying to do something like reporting and you don't really have any access to any app for reporting, of course, try to use the native app as much as native functionality, native reports, dashboard. But the best thing that you can do is dump things in Excel. Of course, when you are talking about dumping something in Excel, it may not be obvious, it may not be simple or easy for everyone, but dump it somewhere. It could be an Excel sheet, it could be your own reporting tool, it could be Google Slides or not Slides, Google Sheet. Of course, you can use Google Slides, but basically dump it outside Jira. And even using REST, even if you're using REST API, you can't really export more than 1,000 issues. So you have to basically use pagination. So to make sure that you are trying to export, whatever you want to export, you have it somewhere in a different format and then report on it. And Excel is something that although I don't really like it, but I have to use it because it works. And I have like some VBA macros that I use to pull data from Jira using REST API. And then when you have things in Jira, or not Jira, things in Excel, then report on it. So this is something that you can do. To be honest, even if you have some thing like Excel, Google Sheets, or maybe some other UI tool, or like not UI, reporting tool, then you can do a lot of these things outside Jira. Of course, it is not really ideal, but you can still, it's not really impossible. And I would still say that when you are using Jira for the very first time or when you're deploying it, and this is something which I coach people as part of my Jira onboarding training sessions, whatever, that whenever you are rolling out Jira, think about your needs. Think about, of course, what problems you're trying to solve right now, but also think about your needs, your expectations from the tool, both in terms of functionality, but also number of users and what kind of features you're looking for maybe in the next 6 months or maybe 12 months or maybe 2 years. So at least have a plan for the next 2 years or some idea. And if you know that after like 1 year or 2 years or maybe after 6 months, you have plans to grow or shrink, whatever, you can then make an informed decision. and you can of course save a lot of money. Alright, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.